Nana, when are you getting married?
Yo,
when
that's like my mom too.
I'm like, bro, you pretend I'm not talking to no girl and you think I'm still a virgin. How do you just miraculously go from that to when are you getting married?
Those types of parents really just think popping you out and giving you somewhere to sleep makes me a good mom. I didn't fucking ask to be here.
That's 90% of black parents, especially in Ghanaian families. They feel 100% entitled to all your shit.
It's really hard to speak up and stand up for what's right, but I feel like if we don't fight for something, what are we even here for?
All right, welcome back to another episode, man. Today, we're going on a bunch of different angles. Karen, what's up with you?
Hey, how are you?
Good. So today, we're talking about the youth of this generation and them wanting nothing to do with marriage or even having a family. We're identifying generational curses. We're talking about Shedeur, Candace Owens, and Erika Kirk finally have their Royal Rumble, and a whole lot more. So let's just get right into it, man, and start from the top. Karen, why do you think this generation is so turned off from marriage and having a family? What is that? Why do you think so?
First of all, Nana's very passionate about this topic. Okay, he's a legacy man. Like,
get into your point and leave me alone, man.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't think we're necessarily turned off by the idea of marriage. I think what it is that we're also very we're also very fixated on living in the moment. One thing that you said to me in the past that's really stood out to me was you either get a choice or a consequence. You don't get to have both. So if you choose to do something, you don't have full authority over the consequence. Or if you want better outcomes, then you make better decisions, right? So I feel like if we're even talking in particular to just women, I feel like sometimes we get kind of caught up in like having fun and talking to this type of man because they're attractive or they have this or they have money and they're exciting and they're fun and they're this and they're that. And then one day, maybe when you're 25, 26, you come to a realization, oh shit, I do want to get married. I do want to have kids. And I feel like what then happens is because we kind of made a lot of bad decisions that don't really reflect someone that can get married, we kind of give up before even trying. We kind of just say, you know what? I don't even care about marriage that bad. It's not that serious. And I think that's just easier to accept because people don't really want to say, hey, this is my fault. The reason why I'm not in a certain position or I don't have certain things at this age is because I made a lot of bad decisions. So instead of people kind of like taking accountability for those bad decisions, they're like, you know what, I'm good on marriage. But I think people are lying when they say that. Even if they don't want to get married, I think people are lying when they say that they don't need anyone for the rest of their life or they don't want to have a family, in my opinion.
So essentially what you're saying is that most people. So essentially... Bro, you don't have to be politically correct, man. We're trying to cut through, man. We're on the edge. I need us to get more edgy. Don't most people?
Oh yeah, you know you're so scared. You're right.
Beat you up. They beat you up, man.
Yeah,
That's why you started this podcast.
I want to get beat up.
So essentially, what you're saying is, you can instill power into two different elements when it comes to life. You could either put power in your decision, or you can deal with the power that comes with the consequence. So you have power both ways. You either have the autonomy to say, I'm going to choose to instill my power in my choice and make calculated choices that align with who I've decided I want to be, or I'm going to do whatever I want, which there isn't much power in that because it's very easy to do that. See, okay, I don't want to take the floor from you, but a lot of people misconstrue the idea of choice and think that there's some kind of strength in it, when in reality, it's so easy to do whatever you want. It's so easy to do what the flesh wants. It's so easy to be childish. Like, it's so easy to make the wrong choice. It's like somebody who's addicted to balling up. I'm gonna use that for example, because I can relate. Somebody who's addicted to balling up. You can convince yourself that you're just balling up because you want to, but at some point you have to realize that you're indefinitely making the easier choice. Now, everyone's consequences are different. See, by the grace of God, I don't know how I figured this out, but I'm the type of person that could ball up and literally right after the ball up, go outside for a run. That's just like my life design, and I'm not better than anybody, or balling up isn't better for me. I'm sure I'd have an even more improved, a more elevated performance level if I stopped balling up. I'm not sure we'll ever know, but that's not the point. The point is that I have a choice, but I also have the consequence that's on the other side waiting for me.
I think with that in particular, like if it was something that kind of affected your day to day and like it affected how you performed and how you were able to get things done, then you would be like, hey, I'm good. But because it's not really affecting you in that way, it's very easy to just be like, you know what, why? I don't need to do it. But I feel like sometimes there's people's decisions are actively have negative consequences and they still do it, and that's when it becomes like an issue.
And I appreciate you making that connection, but the truth is that's what makes us young. Like that's what being youthful is making choices and not really giving a fuck what the implications are.
Yeah, since I turned 25, for sure. I don't know what it is. I just been feeling like, OMG, I have been living my life so wrong. I've been living my life with just no purpose, no intention, just completely misguided. And it's like, I'm not like old yet. I'm still 25, but as a woman, you definitely start feeling like, you're getting there because you're getting closer to 30. And it's like, if I can go back, I definitely can be like, okay, this is how I would do certain things, to be honest.
Fam, my awakening began at the same age, and I used to tell you before you turn 25 that when you're 25, you're still gonna be young. Like, bro, don't get me wrong. Like, bro, I would kill someone I love to be 25 again. Like, trust me, I promise you, like, 25 is mad young. Well, the catch-22 is that I would still want all this knowledge and everything else I have now. So if I can't have that, then forget what I said. But that's not the here nor there. At 25, that was in 2018 for me. I'll never forget that year. Like, my life changed. Like, I consciously remember it. Like, my life changed. It was literally the beginning of a completely... And was I perfect from then? Did I master whatever changes I was making? Hell no. I feel like I just like took another step forward in 2024. Is it perfect? No. Are you aware now? Yes. So if you continue to make the same mistakes, is it going to shake you down? Absolutely. I have a stat for you. So, and I checked this out on ChatGPT before we actually came here today. In the early 2010s in America, and I'm going to make sure that our producer throws like the screenshot. I took a screenshot of it and made sure that I had it so we could throw it up. In the early 2010s in America, people were getting married. Males were getting married between the ages of 28 to 31. In Canada, we were getting married between the ages of 29 and 30. In the present day, in the 2020s, people are getting married. In America, they're getting married between the ages of 30 and 32. And in Canada, we're getting married in our mid 30s from 31 onward. When my brothers, and my brother's only 5 years older than me, when my brother was growing up, or when I was watching my brother grow up, no matter how outside a guy was, no matter how much in the streets he was, or a nerd or whatever he was, they really put a heavy importance on being married by a certain age. Like, they looked at, like, bro, back in the day, if you were 33 years old, like my age, and you were not married, bro, that shit looks crazy. It looks super, super, super crazy. But I'll tell you this, and if I'm owning the mic too much, tell me. If you have anything you want to chime in on, just chime in and cut me off and I'll come back into it.
You're telling a story, I'm listening.
But I think that it's two problems. It comes from two different angles.
Can I interrupt you for 2 seconds? Because I don't want to lose this thought.
Yeah,
I think one thing that, like, especially like females, is like, never think it's too late to like recreate yourself. I think sometimes people feel like they've done too much or they've made too many mistakes where they can never recover from. So that kind of like deters them away from like settling down or just selling lies to yourself, saying like that's not what's going to make you happy. But I feel like if you accept that, you're going to realize when it's way too late that you're going to be very miserable, honestly. Like, I'm not saying that like you need to go have kids, because some people really don't want to have kids, but like it's never too late to say, hey, you know what? The life that I'm living right now probably isn't going to provide me the most fulfillment throughout the entirety of my life. if you're going to make any necessary changes, now's the time. You don't want to keep making certain mistakes because then you have a lot of undoing to do. So it's like, yeah, sometimes you get very connected to your old life and your own habits. But if you can just decide and say, hey, what is going to make me happy for the long run, and just say, you know what, I'm going to make certain sacrifices. I'm going to be disciplined. Even though I'm accustomed to certain habits, I'm going to change them that way that in a few years I can be the happiest. You know what I mean?
Because consistent and long-term happiness begins with a lot of sacrificial decisions.
Long-term, short-term, what is a short-term gratification over...
What are you referring to here?
What do they call the long-term gratification? Is that what they call it?
Like delayed gratification.
Yeah, you definitely need delayed gratification.
Yeah.
It's very important.
You need delayed gratification. You cannot be the type of person that hops on the train of a short-term high all the time. Short-term highs.
That was me.
Short-term highs leads to a very, 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 very deadly cry. I don't mean to rhyme when I said that. But short-term highs lead to very deadly cries. And I hope that everybody remembers that. But the point I was going to make was why I think, and we'll wrap this up and move on to the next subject after this, but why I think that people are not as attracted, especially males, because at the end of the day, it's us men that get down on one knee and say, I do, right?
Or will you marry me?
I'm so sorry. Will you marry me?
Yeah.
And then the girl says, I do.
Yeah.
So we get down on one knee and say, will you marry me? Here's the thing. I can give you the funny, like I said, there's two things. I can give you the funny, most obvious angle, and then I could give you a systemic angle as well. I'll do you both, and I'll be quick. From the funny side, there's way too many. Here's the thing. There's not enough masculine male leaders. There's way too many aspiring tricks and people that have money that are tricks. So what happens is that you mess up the psychology of females on a grand scheme of things, and they no longer understand the concept of development and being under a man's helm. See, I'm not looking in your face. I'm kind of looking in my head because I want to make sure I say this as correctly as possible. There's a lack of leadership amongst men, and it's too much. It's too much here. So what we've done is that we've created women that have a ridiculous type of expectation. And what that expectation does ultimately is that it distorts the dating market. So you turn off the men that feel that they're incapable, and you scare the men away that are capable but want nothing to do with it. And then even on a third level, the men that are capable, that do want something to do with it, they essentially buy your vagina on rental. And when they're tired of driving it, they give it up.
There's no real commitment there.
There's no real commitment there because?
There's just no real commitment there is because they have like options in their reality. It's like all you guys are like can be bought. All of you guys, I can get you guys the same way I got hers. Nothing makes you like special to them.
Exactly. So I would say for that front, and there's so many other angles I can attack on that level, but for that front, we just need better male leaders. We need more humble, submissive, and just feminine type females. I hate to give this type of red pill talk, but it's real. Like, everybody needs to know their place. Men, work with a woman, but have a provider's mentality. Women, be submissive, but nobody's telling you to be a rag doll and be a carpet and just let a man walk all over you. Because any real leader understands that the opinion of his backbone or his right hand is just as important as his own opinion. Now let's go to the systemic side. Systemically, through welfare, through aid, through promoting women going to work, through a whole bunch of systemic things that allow women to be independent, we've created a tunnel and we've created a funnel that allows women to feel like they don't need a man at home. And now, mind you, even though we're an extremely small population when it comes, and I'm using black people for a second, we're an extremely small population when it comes to per capita globally, but we per capita do take up the largest amount of social security aid and benefit. We do. Now, simultaneously, we also provide some of the highest level of single parent households globally. This can't be a coincidence, and this pretty much started after they introduced welfare and social security services. This is all Googleable, ChatGPTable. I don't want to dive too deep into that.
Why not?
Why don't I want to dive too deep into it? Because I feel like that's like another whole conversation in itself. But at the end of the day, people need to understand that whether it was from a systemic point, or it's from an emotional point, or it's from a cultural point, we have been put into this position whether we know it or not. We didn't choose it. And I really encourage both women and men, myself included, because I'm not married and I'm not in a relationship. I encourage both men and women to choose a home, because irregardless of whatever happened in my home, irregardless of any wrongdoing of my father, irregardless of anything that happened that my parents might have been at odds, my father being at home was one of the most divine things that could have ever happened to me. Because I know how much of a follower I was. I know how desperately cool I wanted to be when I was a kid, which is what made me entertain certain friendships and situations that were just bullshit and pointless. Without my father at home, my life would have been completely destroyed.
And you also kind of like illustrate what a family's supposed to look like for your kids and like them growing up. So it's like, even if like you didn't have the perfect parents, at least you can be like, hey, I didn't like when my dad did this, or I didn't like when my mom did this. So when I have children or when I get married, these are the things that I'm going to be able to change. But when you have like an absent father or someone's missing, you don't really understand what a true relationship is supposed to look like. So by that metric already, you're at a disadvantage, because now when you get into relationships and you're dating, you don't really know how to work with a man or certain things, because you never really had an example. You didn't have anyone to like show you how to be a wife or be a girlfriend or just be someone's partner. So it's like, when you are able to create a family, you kind of like put your kids like a little bit ahead, because then they have something to look at, whether it's good or not. Like, you might not inspire them. You might inspire them to be completely different, but at least they have some sort of inspiration. Like, when there's no like family structure at home, no parents, I feel like kids a lot of the times have to figure things out on their own, and they're just very misguided. You do need the balance of your mother and your father present. Not necessarily saying you need to go start a family. I do understand that a lot of people don't want to have kids and stuff, but I think people need to stop lying to themselves, at least when they say that they don't need anybody, period.
Well, we're not here to empathize with why people don't want to have a family and have kids, because we all know that some people just don't want that. But the idea, at least in my humble opinion, the idea of this podcast is to speak against the creation of single parent homes and the lack of unionship within our community, because that will show its head and it will show the consequences, whether it's 20 years from now, 5 years from now, or 30 years from now. We are going to deal with the consequences of this high octane lifestyle that we live. We are. And that is just a fact. Anywho, moving on, let's talk about, it's funny because I also wanted us to talk about generational curses within families, identifying generational patterns and generational curses. You talked about if you come from a single parent home, let's say you're raised with just your mom, you don't have the ability to see an example. Go further into that or curve it any way you want. You don't need any personal examples per se, but I just want to discuss generational patterns and generational curses. Why do you think it's important to identify that and ensure that you don't repeat? Well, essentially, I kind of answered it for you. Identifying it is so that you don't repeat, but you kind of tell me why, in your humble opinion, why you think it's so important to identify that.
I think, especially like as a child, let's say you're growing up in a certain environment, I think it's very hard to identify something that's your norm. I think that's why it's like our responsibilities, like moving forward, to like put our kids in an environment where it's like all they can do is like take notes, because it's like it's hard to be like, something's off here when your mom's a single mom and she looks like she's doing okay. You get what I mean? But like you will realize that a lot of the women that are single now or have been single for an extended period of time, their mothers have been single for a long time, or they divorced, or baby moms, that kind of vibe. So it's like when it comes to identifying it, I'm not sure. I think it's difficult if that's just your norm. But if you're very smart and stuff like that, then at that point, there's nothing to really be discussed. Like, you're just that smart to say, I want something different. But you don't typically be like, I want something different if you're in like because not all, just because you're in a single parent household doesn't mean you're like shaking it or you're in like a bad environment.
No.
So it's like, if it's not like that where it's so like negative on your mental health, or it's just so blatantly like, no, fuck no. It's hard to be like, I don't want nothing to do with this.
Let me expand your mind a little bit, because I think you're hung and strung on the idea of marriage only. So
I'm thinking about marriage, to be honest.
You're thinking about family, because you said just because you come from a single home doesn't mean you're shaking or you're down and out.
Oh yeah, I guess marriage, but I just think like at least like their mom and dad being together. Like,
well, I would hope that that's only happening under the guise of marriage. That's why I said that. But if not, whatever. You're thinking of unionship. I'm not per se talking about that. Let me walk you down a little bit so you further understand what I'm saying. When I talk about generational patterns and generational curses, example, finding out if your father was a womanizer when he was younger. Example, finding out if your mother was a promiscuous human when she was younger. Example, finding out if the men in your family take really long to get married, don't get married at all. Finding out if there's men in your family that have been abusive and hit women, because most likely a lot of the shit that you see happening, if you trace your family bloodline, if you trace just even some of the men in your proximity, like your father, your grandfather, an uncle from a mom's side or a dad's side, I think our community doesn't pay attention to these things enough. And I hope that we get some kind of real out of this, because we're gonna see if people are really gonna be awakened to it or if they've always been taking it in. But generational patterns and generational curses are a real thing. So it's funny, now that I'm at the age where I'm like more in a yearning spirit to get married, I'm starting to think about these things. And I hate to tie it back to the marriage thing now, but let me just do it for a second. So my grandfather that I was named after, he didn't get married until he was like in his 40s. His son, my dad's like basically my dad's first cousin. They called themselves brothers, but my grandfather's son, he's almost 47 years old. Between 45 to 47, I don't remember his age. Still not married. That's where I lived when I got sent to Ghana. That same house is where I was raised. Those people were my parents before I came back to Canada. Ironically, my brother got married before he was 30 years old. My sister got married before she was 30 years old. Yes, I was a slime ball in my past, and I like girls, and so I contributed to this result as well. I'm not putting it all on generational patterns and curses. But mental and spiritual and emotional alignment have a lot to do with generational curses.
I think it's just environments,
and
period,
patterns.
and like where you, like just the things that you surround yourself with, like all that has an impact on like how you're, like the trajectory of your life. When it comes to like identifying those things, like you said, you just started taking those things in. I don't think it's normal for like a 15-year-old, 16-year-old to be like,
That's not the age you take those things in.
Yeah,
Remember, sorry, I hate to cut you off. Let me just say this real quick. Even the awakening age that we discussed, we said begins at 25. For most people, you listen to Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, yourself, myself, they'll all tell you, Patrick Bet-David, they'll all tell you that their awakening period, I don't know what that magical number is, but anyways, the point is, I'm saying some of these conversations are not for, here's the thing. If you could even begin to think about it at that age, like even if it doesn't make sense to you, even if you could just have it in your mind, digesting it in any way or any capacity, you're already ahead of the curve. These are conversations that, especially within our community, that we don't have. Our parents just expect results. Our peers just expect that everybody's living this perfect life that looks like it's all put together all the time.
This conversation kind of makes me want to go home and call my little sisters and just talk to them about stuff like that. Like, do you guys want to get married? Do you guys want to have kids? Because it's like, obviously, like, my parents are divorced, right?
Yeah.
And that's been their norm for like a very long time. So it's like, I don't even see them really like, I know for most women, like, or girls, little girls, when they're in like when they have a mom and dad in the house, they just can't wait to get married. They can't wait to do this, and that's like their dream. Like, I never heard like my little sisters like scheming, plotting, thinking about that shit. And it's like, that's what I mean by when it's just so normal to you, you don't even think about anything else. And it's like, if you can like bring kids into a family system as opposed to kind of just creating a lot of like broken homes, I think that's like something that people should like prioritize, because at the end of the day, you're not just popping a baby, like you're actually bringing another human into this world that's going to become an adult, that's going to make a decision. He's either going to contribute to the world or he's just going to be a waste of space. And it's like, that's your kid. And it's like, if you truly want the best for your kids, because people always want to come and have kids and act like they're the best parents ever. And it's like, being a good parent starts from when you open your legs and you let a certain nigga fuck you and get you pregnant. Like, that's when you decide to be a good parent. It's like, some people, it's like, even the men, like some women decide to keep kids for, it's just not productive. It's just being a good parent it's very like deep, and it's not just putting Vaseline on your kid's face and making them wear Jordans. Like, it's very serious. It's like, you're actually bringing a human into this world. So it's like, if you really care about their well-being and their mental, you would try to like bring them up in the best environment. I don't think anyone's trying to have a kid and be separated from the person. I don't think that's anyone's intentions, but I feel like a lot of times women will deny this and come up with a million excuses, but a lot of the times, or too many times, women are keeping kids solely because of how they feel about the man, and that's it. And they just want to have access to the man, or they want to trap the man. And it's like, I don't know how many examples you need to see that doesn't work. Having a kid is not going to keep a man, and it's like, you're just going to end up with majority of the responsibility, because you already know, like, that's how it just goes when you're the one that's carrying a child.
Absolutely. And it's quite unfortunate that it happens that way. And as the man, you can give up as much money as you want every month. If you're not there physically, the woman bears all the responsibility. Money means nothing when you can't sleep at night because it's 2 a.m. and your kid is crying. But we don't want to go too deep into that pool of conversation. That's not what it was about today. But I appreciate everything that you said. I feel like, especially in our community, our parents are not having these kind of conversations with us, but they're expecting the results that we're talking about. So I just kind of felt it like there was a period in time where I would say from when I was like 31 years old, I think it was like around like 30. It just started where it's like, Nana, when are you getting married?
Yo, that's like my mom too. That's like,
when are you getting married? I'm like, bro,
what are you talking about?
You've never coached me like and I'm not saying like they need to coach you fully and through, but it's like, bro,
once you get married and you know the work it takes to actually sustain a relationship, you need to like prepare your children for being with one person for the rest of their lives. Like, my mom talking about, oh, so when are you gonna be married?
You've never coached me. When do you like, bro? You've created an environment where I'm sneaky. You pretend you can't see. That's the relationship we have. I don't show you the girls I talk to. You pretend I'm not talking to no girl and you think I'm still a virgin. That's the relationship that we have. So how do you just miraculously go from that to when are you getting married? See, like,
that's the thing that really annoys me about like parents sometimes. It's just that thing where they just feel like you're supposed to have everything figured out and just come with the results. I hate that shit so bad. It's like, people think like, not people, but like those types of parents really just think, hey, like popping you out and giving you somewhere to sleep, like that's what makes me a good mom. I didn't fucking ask to be here.
Not gonna lie to you though, Karen, and I hate to do this to our people, but like that's like 90% of Ghanaian parents.
Like,
and let me not even just isolate Ghanaians. I'm gonna be real.
Black parents,
that's 90% of black parents. I have predominantly black friends, so I have a black experience. This doesn't mean it doesn't happen, and this is where I'm getting politically correct. This doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but I mean it though at the same time. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen with white families, Asian families, brown families, whatever. But I know that black families, especially in Ghanaian families, parents feel no obligation to walk you to the final destination, but if you find a way to miraculously get there and become successful,
they everything.
Feel 100% entitled to all your shit.
It's so weird, and it's like then they just act like you would even think like they had pom poms and they were your cheerleaders
and they were
the whole
cheering
time.
you on, and they love you so much. And
it's so flabbergasting when you see how they act when you actually do something.
Nah, be real. Even though my parents like weren't the come to your football game or like do certain little things that I would have loved for them to have done when I was growing up, one thing I cannot sit here and say, which is why you see me treat my parents the way that I do, like one thing I cannot sit here and say is that my mother and my father did not love me. I felt love. And honestly, my problem is maybe I wouldn't have felt this way if I understood the things I understand now, because I was conditioned, especially growing up in a super Ghanaian home, I was conditioned to just appreciate always having food in the fridge, juice, water, a roof. My dad pays everything. We go to church on Sundays. Like we watch Nigerian movies after church and on Saturdays. Like that's what I was conditioned to. So for me, it was like, I know that some people don't, and I grew up in the hood where some people don't even have a parent at home. Some people don't have food at home. Some people don't have this at home, that at home. So the basics felt like so much love to me. Do you get that?
There's this girl on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
And she actually knits hats and like does crochet and knitting and stuff. But her whole main page right now is basically just telling people who can't afford to have kids to stop having kids. And it sounds very like common sense and basic, right? But it's like if you go through her comments.
Is it that common sense? Is it that basic? I bet you when you go through her comments, they're ripping her.
No, for me it's like why does nobody agree with this? Because she's not coming from she's someone that her mom had her at 19, has 3 other kids. I guess they came in a very poor environment, and she's basically just saying like, yo, stop having kids if you cannot put them in position. We did not fucking ask to be here. You're not special because we have food. You're not special because we have clothes. You're not fucking special because we have somewhere to sleep. Those are basic necessities. And on top of that, if you need government assistance, you're getting money from welfare and aid and stuff like that.
Most of the time, they don't even give it to the kids.
You should not be having fucking kids. Like, you should not have fucking kids. And it's like such a simple concept to me. And I know it might be like a sensitive topic to people, but it's just common sense. It's like, bro, you're bringing people who can't take care of themselves into this world. And it's like, I remember times, and it's like, I had pretty like decent parents, but it's just, they just don't like to do shit. Like, I just remember times like just not being able to go do this and everyone else is doing it. And you just be thinking, fuck, like my parents are so poor. Like they don't have nothing. And that's just annoying as fuck. And it's like, you don't have to be rich, but it's like, don't bring kids into this world unless you're trying to turn them to some better versions of you or some superhumans than you, or give them an advantage in life.
And it's very fucking traumatizing.
That's why it's like when people get mad at like people who are Nepo babies, and it's like, are you guys fucking stupid?
It's because when they get mad at them, you have to think about it, okay? Listen, anything that the majority of people co-sign or consent to, it's usually because it's coming from a place of weakness. Listen, if you've never known what it's like, only a very strong person can come from a poor father but want to create a rich experience when they become a father. It's like, say it again, only a strong-minded person can come from a poor father and decide even before he has children that he wants to create a rich experience for his family and his children.
He's a fed up person too.
That too. But the point that I'm getting at is that a lot of these people are not fed up enough. A lot of these people are just weak cowards that have subscribed to their situation. And so anything that shows the reflection of their lack of, it invigorates them and makes them lose their mind. But at the end of the day, the truth is, if they grew up in that situation, they would have loved their life
obviously
a gazillion times more.
If it was up to people, they would be having their own way, their way, and everyone else will have jack shit, honestly.
And that's why, especially in the Black community, we admire and we put struggle on such a pedestal. That's why rappers make it. That's why actors that have a story make it.
I hate that shit so bad.
We put struggle on a pedestal.
And people love to see like people struggle and then find a way out. It's like, bro, like why does that need to be our life? Like,
because that's all.
Why can't we just put people in position, work together? Like, why does it always have to be like, oh, we came from nothing? Like, that's too like.
Because we don't have a community. Tell me, in this city in Toronto, how many times have you been to a gated community and seen that it was predominantly Black people living in the area? I don't want to do this. We're not going to stay on this whole Black people thing. But how many times have you been in any kind of gated community area? Bro, even my mentor that like shows me in Burma like how to like basically like evade the trucking game. Bro, this nigga lives. Karen, bro. This guy's crib. And I took my parents there too to go say what's up to him. Bro, this guy's crib is something of that I've never seen in my life. You know how you think Ghana houses are huge? This is a house in Canada, in Woodstock. And he had to buy the property in Woodstock because that's the only way you could get acres. Bro, this nigga's crib is massive. And his kids, he's Ghanaian too. His wife's Ghanaian. His wife's my cousin. Mm-hmm. She's so humble, so down to earth, bruh. And the kids just run around. They just run around.
I think what people need to understand is that, yeah, okay, sure, we did face some setbacks and we did deal with some things that did set us back generationally. But at some point, we all need to understand that what we're not changing, we're choosing. Are we gonna always be like, well, my mom was poor, well, my dad, like, when does it fucking end? Like, when do you say no? Like, everyone after me is just not gonna experience this. If we keep accepting and just being like, okay, this is just where I came from, this is just what the cards that were dealt with, we're always gonna be stuck. And I think we need to reject that and stop accepting like whatever it is that we're used to and just become something and change, like just rewrite our story, honestly. Like, it's really enough. Like,
the day it ends is the day we learn to become happy for people who are where we aspire to be.
Facts.
Until that day, we will continue to
because it's like when we see another person that looks like us, it's like we're the biggest haters.
We're angry. It'll just continue being this spinning cycle of hatred, spite, and everything else. Anywho.
Deep.
So there's a shooting that took place in Australia at this place called a Bondi Beach. It was like a Bondi Beach shooting. And apparently it was for like a Hanukkah celebration. I don't know why I have a smirk on my face. Let me get a little serious because a lot of people died actually.
I think 15 people died.
15 people died, injured dozens of people. And it was a father who was 50 years old and a son who was 24 years old. What's a father and a son doing on a link up?
It's like instead of teaching your kids productive stuff, you're even rallying them up to go shoot people. It's not even funny. Like, what the heck? It's not
funny, but just imagine a father and a son riding out.
I'm trying to see me doing that with my mom. Like, you're gonna go. Like, I can't. Like, I'm 25 years old.
Yo, imagine a father and a son sliding. I'm sorry, God. I'm so sorry.
We're talking about generational curses and families, and then some people are bringing their son to go drug.
That's such a good connection and spin. That was a good one. I don't know why it's like laughing that's coming out of me. I feel fucked.
It's just, it's not funny. It's not funny. It's
it's not funny though.
You know, it's not funny. It's just like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like, that sounds like. I was watching like a little news article about it today. Obviously, like, we're about to do the podcast. I knew that's something we were gonna discuss. I was just kind of like really taking it in. When I was like taking it in, like how much people were being killed, and I'm seeing the video. He keeps pulling the trigger. It's like, whoa, like some people just have no regard for human life, and it's like even in that like particular that video, you'll see that someone came and disarmed the father, right? So after they disarmed the father, They didn't do nothing to him. They kind of just had the gun pointed at him. The father is able to run back to his original post with his son, because at first they were on top of a bridge shooting people, and I guess he kind of left. So he got down and he was shooting people at point blank range, right? So he was the one that was probably killing the most people. So then when the guy disarmed him, he didn't do nothing. He kind of just took his gun. He ended up just leaving, going back up to his post. I think they had like 6 weapons, if I'm not mistaken.
Got another gun
and started shooting again. So he was shooting again for like another 30 seconds, 40 seconds before they took him down. And then the son was shooting for like another minute and a half, 2 minutes before he got shot. But he didn't die. I think he's in critical condition. But I was seeing videos of like after the fact, I don't know who they were stepping on, but you see videos of like him down, and they're like, people running to him like, you fucking bitch, stepping on the head. Police is like, woo, and people are trying to like get at them. But yeah, it's crazy.
I did my background research, but I didn't get to see much like videos. I didn't see much visuals. Bro, it's just like, first and foremost, like, I hate the fact that what the Israeli government led by Netanyahu is doing in Palestine is affecting people of Jewish identity. Like, I think this is like something that I was making a mistake with at first myself. And it's very easy and quick to become anti-Semitic and start hating Jewish people as a whole when you're still stuck in that ignorant base. Like, the Israeli government is not a representation of Jewish people worldwide. Jewish people are just of a nationality. If some fuckery is going on in Ghana right now, you don't deserve to be persecuted here in Canada because the President Mahama is doing whatever bullshit that he's doing and causing genocide on Nigeria or something.
I think the issue with the anti-Semitic whatever shit, I don't really, is that not enough Jewish people. Okay, if you do not want to be like categorized with them, you need to be able to stand and say, we don't agree with this. And obviously there's some Jewish people that are like, yo, we don't agree with this.
Dave Smith, go ahead.
But I think not enough. If more of them were doing it, I think there would be less like of that pushback.
I really appreciate that point, but I think the reason why people, this is not even me like trying to be in defense of the like the regime or Jews or whatever the case may be, but I'm just being honest. I think the same ignorance that allows us to bracket all Jewish people under one umbrella because of what the government of Israel is doing on a bunch of different countries, Syria, Israel, Libya, bro, Iran.
I think it's just too easy to not care.
No, let me land on what I'm saying. The point, what I was gonna say is that same ignorance is kind of like what they on their end. It's like, I don't want to speak against this because it might come off like I'm speaking against Jewish people as a whole. So they're also trying to protect their country, which is ignorant. They're also trying to protect their country, their identity, what they stand for. Remember, like, being Jewish, it's not just like it's not just culture. It's both culture and religion.
Yeah.
So it's a very techie situation, and you don't want to. I understand the ignorance. It doesn't make it right, but I understand.
Situations like this make me like, it helps me understand how like we were able to be slaves, or some people are able to be enslaved. Like, humans are just so weak. And it's very hard for one person to say, you know what, fuck that. Like, someone needs to do it. Like, and who's that person? Because people don't really get that muscle until they have like a community or a group. But it's like, even me, like you made the Ghana like comparison. Like, if some shit was going on in Ghana, I'm not the one that's gonna speak. Like, I'm really not. So I'm not sitting here trying to act like I'm some strong ass human. It's really hard to like speak up and stand up for what's right. But I feel like humans are just very weak. And at some point, we just need to understand that if we don't fight for something, like, what are we even here for? And it's
for anything.
At this point now, like, I understand in the beginning, but at this point now, if you're a Jew and you're not speaking up against the violence and the death and all the like pain that's being inflicted against the Palestinians,
it feels like you're subscribing to it.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much now. It's way too much. Like, because it needs to stop, for real.
And yes, I agree, over the top. But none of those things give credence for a father and a son to go stand in the middle of a park during a religious celebration and just start shooting random people. Those people did absolutely nothing for that except being born as a certain race. And even if those people stood up for it online or wherever else, that situation that happened to them that day would have still happened to them regardless.
No.
And that's what's unfortunate.
They definitely like didn't deserve that. It's disgusting. Like the youngest person that died was 10 years old. It was a 10-year-old girl. And it's like, fam. I don't even know like how someone could like, my brain just
at that point, I don't think they were like seeing each individual.
It doesn't matter. Someone disarmed you. You left and went back to pick up another gun to keep shooting. Like, these people don't give a fuck. Like, I don't understand some, like, people, like, I don't know. I'm so shocked. Like,
so there's a plot twist, and we're not going to entertain conspiracy theories, but there's a plot twist where people are saying that was a planted person by Israel meant to create an uprising and show that Muslims are attacking Jewish people worldwide. And essentially it was meant to give, because now Netanyahu is coming out threatening world leaders, saying that all Western world leaders must do something to protect Jewish people in your part of the world against anti-Semitism. And he's not asking, he's demanding it. So I wish I could have got the video and showed it to you before we got here, but I'll make sure I show it to you.
I think sometimes stop with the conspiracy theories. Like, people actually died. We already know, like, whatever the fuck, Netanyahu or whatever the fuck. We already know he's a fucked up person. So it's like, we don't need to keep talking about a million ways of how he's being fucked up. We understand that already. Like, actually, like, 15 people actually died. Like, that's something that needs to be like more like, that's what the light should injured. That's what the light should be shined upon, not this fucking guy that we already established that is a piece of shit. Like, we know that already. So whether he did that or not, we still know he's a piece of shit. So it's like, we don't need to come up with all this conspiracy theories. Now's not the time. Like, there's a time and a place for everything.
Facts. I appreciate that point very, very much. So speaking of Netanyahu and conspiracy theories, Candace Owens and
his biggest op.
His biggest op.
I know you want to off that bitch.
Candace Owens and Erika Kirk, Charlie Kirk's wife. It's funny. It's kind of getting crazy. It's like Erika Kirk is like becoming more famous than Charlie Kirk, the one that everybody knew. But Charlie Kirk's wife, Erika Kirk, went on like CBS interviews and like went on other interviews and was basically just throwing like a stupid amount of shade at Candace Owens, calling her a conspiracy theorist and basically just telling her to stop talking about Charlie Kirk, stop trying to find out what really happened, why he was murdered. But then the social media community was not having it, fam. They killed her. Like, people are like coming out in blonde hair. White girls are coming out in blonde hair pretending to be Diddy. That, like, you know what? You know the part of the Diddy documentary when after he was done killing Biggie, like he went and did that performance at BET. People were coming out and like pretending to be at the BET Awards and crying like how she cries and doing the Diddy dance. Like, I realized from this situation, so fam, we're in for a ride. Like, social media is fucked. Like, bro, they have no mercy. Like, you know, the system and like the oligarchs being like the old, like, invisible hand owners that run the world. Like, the oligarchs and the old, you know, the Mason guys, they're so used to like one form of propaganda and how to emotionally manipulate people, because we're essentially all controlled with our emotions. It's they pull our emotional strings. That's how they got 80% of the fucking world to take the COVID shot. That's how they do everything else. Even today, when
we're talking about AI, we're not talking about that today, but how I feel about AI, and like, I just feel like they do we are getting smarter.
Yes.
We are, and they don't want that. But back to Erika Kirk and Candace Owens. Yes, they just linked up. She didn't drop an episode today, did she?
She did.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch it yet. So I've officially conceded.
Candace Owens found out.
The thing is, though, I was a bit on her before, and I was. But like, after this Erika Kirk situation, I feel like, okay, even after this hype thing dies down, I'm still gonna watch. 'Cause I feel like once you get millennials to take in something, then it's like, okay.
Fam.
But after this is done, I still want to take in the shit that she had to take. Because I was taking it in before, but she just very like, authentic. I believe her. And honestly, when it comes to like the Erika Kirk situation, I don't think anyone thinks that like she had anything to do with the assassination of her husband. Like, I don't think we think that. But yo, she's just...
No, you gotta speak for yourself. Go on.
I don't think she has anything to, like, I don't think she, like, had anything to do with the assassination of her husband, because I was going on her social media, I was looking at old videos, and honestly, I genuinely believe she loved him. I just think she's being weird. Like, something's weird. Like, something happened afterwards that's making her weird. I don't think she had a part to play, but she's just being too weird where I can't understand. And hopefully, like, when Candace comes and she says, like, whatever she says, like, I'll get some clarity because I didn't watch that episode yet. But she's just being too weird. Like, this is not how someone who's just lost her husband conducts herself.
It's supposed to behave. So here's what I think. Do I think she paid for the hit? No. Do I think she knows directly who shot Charlie Kirk? No. But do I think some powerful, super, super powerful motherfuckers basically came to her after the fact and told her how she's gonna conduct herself, how she's gonna move, what narrative she's gonna spread, or else she's next? Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean, but I don't think she had like anything to do like with the actual assassination. But I think something afterwards was where like something.
Right. But if you co-sign to any fuckery that's not conducive to finding out the killer of your husband, you are now part of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's why everyone's like, that's why it's so controversial right now.
You are not part of it, bro. I don't know, fam. Listen, here's the thing. What I'm about to say is not backed by any kind of facts at all. It's not facts merited. It's strictly intuition. It's strictly a gut feeling. I just don't like the look in her eyes. She looks empty in the eyes.
She did lose her husband. Honestly, like when I was going back videos, I was looking at videos and she didn't, but it was just weird things that she would say.
The emptiness in her eyes is not the one of sorrow. It's a cold one, like
she has no choice.
It's just cold. I don't know
like
how to interpret.
You think someone's pulling strings and she's just there playing a role.
Don't know how to interpret the coldness. Don't know what it means. It's just cold. It's kind of like when a girl is in the game.
She's hard to interpret for real. I think that's what people's fixation.
No,
is
she's not hard to interpret. It's just at the end of the day, she's not giving you much. So all you can tag is that she's fake. I can interpret fakeness. Now, I don't know what she's hiding behind the fakeness. That's what's hard to figure out.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, yeah, I see that in her eyes real bad. Real bad. And for me, like, some of the stuff that Candace Owens has said, for it not to bother you or for you not to holler at her, and essentially you had to get bullied by the internet before you set up this meeting that they did. I think it was yesterday on the 15th. Yes, it was yesterday. Today's my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad.
Seriously?
Oh, I didn't tell you. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Uncle.
Yeah, today's my boss's birthday.
He's not gonna watch it. He's gonna watch it.
I'll send him this part of the clip. But bro, I don't even think that nigga knows I have a podcast.
My mom calls and say, hey, what did I know? They be on Casa on TikTok. I'm like, bro, just leave you alone. But nah, one thing that she said that alarmed me, when I was like, this is very weird. She's like,
I was gonna say it. I know what you're gonna say.
She's like,
I know what you're gonna say.
Why is everyone fixated on who shot my? I mean, yeah, like he did die in a car accident, but he's this book. Buy this book though.
Fam, she basically said there's a whole lot more important things to be worried about
than who killed her husband.
Why are you worried about who shot my husband? And then had to correct her.
She knew she fucked up. She was like,
now. That might just be a genuine mistake in terms of how she's phrasing things, because she could have just simply meant like, yo, he's already dead. Let the courts deal with it. We already know who the killer is.
No, that does not sound
But there's a very good chance it was a Freudian slip, because why did you feel the need to correct yourself immediately?
Or even like her like saying, none of us as TPUSA is responsible for killing my husband. I'm not.
Not me.
Hey, we never said that. Yeah. That's not what we said. What's grounded? All we said is what's grounded. We never said he did that.
Nobody ever said Erika was responsible. Like, I never heard that.
We never said that, so don't try that.
And even the fact of her trying to blanket everyone that's being potentially accused as family, so they become untouchable.
We don't give a fuck.
I'm not with that. I don't accept that.
Fuck.
I don't accept
We
that.
don't give a fuck.
But we'll see what happens. We're not the FBI. We're not detectives. We don't know shit.
Yo, social media and our generation with our phones, we might as well be.
We might as well be.
We might as well be.
But we're just two losers
Remember,
trying to start
Candace
a podcast.
Owens, like all her sources and stuff, it's just us. Like us, people.
It's us. Yes. Ultimately, us can be anyone, but it is us. Mm-hmm. No one like wearing like a professional like badge or something.
And honestly, that's why this Charlie Kirk assassination is getting dissected the way it is, because these people who carry out these things, they're just humans and they make mistakes, and there's a lot of mistakes that were made. And
bro, there are over 70 different flights that Erika Kirk was on. And even some flights Charlie was on as well too.
Even someone from their team just taking that camera that would have like perfectly got the shot of who was up there.
Egyptian military planes are following these flights. All over 70 flights. That's not normal.
That's the thing about this world. Like, yes, there's people that have power, but we're all just mere mortals.
Still just mere mortals.
We're just mere mortals at the end of the day, and you're not perfect. You cannot be invisible.
There's no perfection in evil.
Even with the Jeffrey Epstein case, like him dying, but no one could see the body when it when it was hanging, but they will show certain clips. They won't show
the camera was accidentally off. Here's the thing. There can never be perfection with evil, because evil's done in the dark. There's no way you can see everything. There can never be perfection with evil, because evil's done in the dark. There's no way you can see everything. And then you factor in that we're just mere human mortals that are designed to make mistakes.
Anyways, I'm locked in. I want to see. I'm going to go home and watch this episode.
I can't wait to get home and watch this episode as well, too. With that being said, Karen.
Are we done?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Our time is up, man. We're done. I'll see you next week for next week's episode. And I mean, sound like you wanted to say something. Wrap it up.
Aw.
Oh, that's what you're going to say?
Aw.
Bruh. I'll see you next week, man. We'll get into it again.
Thanks
Peace
for
and
coming,
love.
guys.
Bye.